Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's an example yesterday I saw of this woman who's been here. I mean, we might even play this clip. She's been here 20 years. She has 3 kids who were born here. Her kids are because of birthright citizenship, which is another subject that's coming up. And she's never bothered to even try to resolve her immigration status. Not in 20 years. She has never tried to resolve her immigration status. Not through Republican presidents, not through Democratic presidents, nothing. And so now, she's worried about being deported because they put out the sob story of this woman. Well, that's not the average person they're even looking at right now. The average person they're looking at crossed in the last 3 years are CNN is cutting jobs to embrace the digital future. No, they're cutting jobs because, as I like to say, they suck. CNN is undergoing significant restructuring, planning to lay off about 200 employees, which constitutes approximately 6% of its workforce. This move is part of a broader strategy under CEO Mark Thompson to pivot towards a digital-first approach, focusing on expanding digital subscriptions and reducing costs from traditional TV operations. Wait a minute. Didn't they already try the CNN subscription service, which failed miserably? Which, if you truly have compassion for trans kids, you would allow them to all go through puberty, because 90% of kids who think they're trans change their mind once they go through puberty. That puberty is the fix for most of the problems. But you guys want the medicalization of kids and sterilization of kids and medical and surgical altering of kids who can't make that decision at 12 years old or 13 years old. Diablo asks, why is it when I try to show empathy and concern, people always misconstrue it? Last time I asked someone if their mom at least got a good check from the clinic that botched the abortion. Oh! Oh, God. Damn it, AD. I think you just need to find a gentleman.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
I would be willing to bet everything I own that submitting a 22-minute video montage that shows the most egregious acts of violence you can find from that day, when the defendant in question is on that video for only 6 seconds and is seen walking calmly, is highly prejudicial and a violation of the defendant's due process rights. The person was found guilty and sentenced to 19 months in prison. Now, it took 2 hours to read through all of the documents that were in the case file. Every motion submitted by the defendant was denied. Every motion by the defendant was denied. How often does that happen? And every motion submitted by the government was granted. They turned a trespass misdemeanor that would have resulted in a $50 ticket into 5 misdemeanors and a felony charge by charging the defendant with a statute that would have required the Secret Service to rope off the section he was in, which they did not. They also charged him with a statute that would have been required them to prove Mike Pence was in the building at the time he walked through that corridor. He was not. And they used an Enron statute that the Supreme Court struck down. If you accept a pardon, you are admitting guilt. Period. That's the, because you can't be pardoned if you're not guilty.
Whether he can preemptive pardon, whether he can issue The president's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr.
Oh,
President. That
you
would
can't?
be a gross abuse
Oh,
of the presidential
it's a
pardon authority.
gross abuse. A presidential pardon authority. Well, there you go. You accepted a pardon, Adam Kinzinger. You think you may have committed a crime. Oh, here, J.B. Raskin. Dirty Q-tip. Dirty Q-tip, Jamie Raskin. What else? What did he have to say?
Well, the seeking of pardons is
Yes, it's only on
powerful
one side.
demonstration of the consciousness of guilt, or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble.
Jamie
And that's
Raskin.
what's so shocking
Did he
about
get a
this.
pardon also? Wasn't he on
Well,
that committee?
The seeking of pardons is...
He was on that committee. I'm curious if you're going to condemn that part. Are you going to condemn that pardon?
You know, Joe Biden pardoned a lot of people. Yeah, he should answer for that and explain.
Lots of murderers, lots of drug dealers, lots of people who killed people, commuted the sentence of a couple murderers. One who, in fact, one drug dealer who people died from taking the drugs that they sold them.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
The Obama-Aniston rumors have gone wild. Rumors have emerged on social media that suggest Barack and Michelle Obama might be heading towards divorce, with speculators linking Barack Obama to actress Jennifer Aniston. Those rumors have gained traction following Michelle Obama's absence from Jimmy Carter's funeral and the inauguration, and are based on tabloid stories and social media speculation without solid confirmation from the individuals involved. So far, they're still rumors, and I don't know why people are perpetuating them, but it is kind of fun to perpetuate rumors like that. No one's come out to, out and out deny anything. That's the weird part.
We should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity.
The audacity!
Of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability.
Oh my God, his own criminal culpability and his son's business dealings. I know that they're talking about Joe Biden, aren't they?
And that of his family members.
Black the Boy asks, are cats really soul suckers? Yes. Yes. That's why I'm not into cats. Dogs, man. I'm a dog guy. Havocado Stabby, is there an aisle in the grocery store that is less objectionable to have sex in? Where do you come up with this shit? Dude.
Has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician has risen.
Yes.
Somebody who 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, a dead.
And I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding Donald Trump's demise that has failed. I wonder how many people at Davos, again, let me say it again. I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding what they had hoped would be Trump's demise. But you there's a few of them there. And it didn't work, did it now? Didn't work now, did it?
Politically known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can do anything.
Of the show every day on my show, if I put something on the screen or I'm talking about it or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to. I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Well. Well, I guess we know what's going to dominate the news today. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet, and welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel, where, as someone said at the top of the chat, ding dong, the Pope is dead. Not a happy day, but, well, I guess not for most people, but some people, well, everyone will make jokes are just going to happen. In fact, that was what I saw on the internet today, because apparently one day before the Pope dies, he met with J.D. Vance, which some are calling the Antichrist, some are calling the Grim Reaper, you know, all that stuff that you expect from liberals and dumbasses. So anyway, hi, how you doing? It's Monday, the 21st of April, 2025. And I just realized today I'm probably going to have to get the other hip replaced soon. Just the exact same pain I started feeling in the other hip. My doctor already said it's going to have to happen. And I'm starting to feel that pain. That sucks, too, because we're going to be doing a trip where I'm going to be doing extensive walking. So I may have to get a cortisone shot before I go do that. So I got to figure this out, because last time I had to take almost 2 months off of work. That sucked. But anyway, enough about me. How about you? Who's here today? Good morning, everybody. Let's just get the show started, because there is a lot of stuff to talk about. First in the chat of today, well, like many days, happens to be Avocatus Diabli, who gets the bell. Congratulations. Also, good morning, JB. What's up? Kara Soldiers in the house. My favorite Canadian Jaeger ponies here. Jesse Leon, you're starting to make in a couple days. You've been here a few days in a row. I'd like to see it again. Nice, welcome back. Good also morning, Reaction Puerto Rico. Bookworm Addict, what's up? And who else? Attack Alpaca, good morning. And Tire. Alexander, the Scourge, welcome. Also, Nomad's in the house.
Stop. Hammer time.
And Lord Stanhope, hello. And Somnambule Nation. So people are strolling in, rolling in, trolling in, whatever, all that stuff. And yeah, so 14 people, 8 likes. That's a pretty good ratio. It's more than 50% at least. That's good. Hit the like button while you're thinking about it, and tell the people who join us after the show starts to hit the like button when they get here. Say hi, and then hit the damn like button while you're thinking about it. And share the stream. Thanks to those who've already done that. I think I have. Where's my notification page here? I had it up. I just saw something funny. Sorry, it distracted me. Thank you, Somnambule Nation, Amazing Disgrace, Reaction Puerto Rico, for tweeting out the show. Got a few let's goes with, I guess that's the Pope dancing in hell. No, I don't know. Green Badger Outdoors. Oh, this one, yeah, the robot didn't quite make that jump. At least it wasn't a human face planting like that, but that's humorous. I'm going to retweet these two, repost, whatever the hell you call it. Thank you for doing that. Also, Somnambule Nation tweeting out the show on your own, like always. I appreciate that too. And Amazing Disgrace. I had a race car theme, so everyone else seems to be joining in on the race car theme, or several. And there's a Reaction in Puerto Rico, already retweeted. So thanks everyone sharing the show. That always helps. You never know who's going to show up. I know Lewis came because he saw someone else do it, and he's been here quite a bit lately. So I really do appreciate you sharing the show. All right, lots of stuff to get into. Let's get as much as we can. Special day. Well, today's special day it's Boston Marathon Day. And lots of people posting that. Apparently the Boston Marathon is today, and people want to remind people of the people who were injured or lost their lives from the, 10 years ago. But also just people saying, let's celebrate the Boston Marathon. Lots of people running. Boston Strong honored to visit the marathon finish line and the memorial for the victims for the 2013. 12 years ago. 2013 bombings this past Friday. The 129th Boston Marathon. Elite runners appear to be in good shape ahead of their race. That's from yesterday, tomorrow. So, today's the big one. That's the biggest, most prestigious marathon, at least in our country. I mean, other than the Olympic marathon, occasionally we get it here. It's a big damn deal. So there you go. Good luck to the runners. Everyone be safe. Hope there's no assholes out there doing stupid shit. Also this week is NFL draft week. Football fans love this. And so the Vikings, I live in Minnesota. I've been here 36 years now. And so I'm kind of a Vikings fan via osmosis, even though I'm originally a Redskins fan, the no longer existing Redskins, now the Commanders. But so I'm looking forward to Vikings drafting some great picks and then still not making it through the playoffs. So there you go. I think the Vikings are going to focus on linemen this year because their skills players are awesome, but they need some linemen. So I don't know, your favorite team, hopefully they'll find what they need to become a Super Bowl contender. Good luck to everyone doing that. Also, yesterday was 420 now, and I'm not sure what the 420 stands for. I think isn't it the possession of marijuana something statute in most states. Anyway, there was a big controversy yesterday about 420 because people were putting their Mount Rushmore, their 420 Mount Rushmore, and they put on Bob Marley, Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg, and Seth Rogen, completely forgetting about Cheech and Chong. I mean, come on, man. How do you have a Mount Rushmore of 420 without Cheech and Chong? Wait, they should focus on drafting white Peter's rapists, maybe a few dogfighting enthusiasts. Oh, my God. People forgetting about Cheech and Chong on your 420 calendar. There should be, who else? Okay, let's see. Let's just read through this because I need to figure this out. Complex Magazine released a list on April 20th, dubbing the Mount Rushmore of cannabis culture, featuring Bob Marley, Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg, and Seth Rogen. This selection triggered widespread debate online. Many fans and commentators arguing that Seth Rogen's inclusion was inappropriate. Why? As much as Wiz Khalifa's, we got Willie Nelson. How about Willie Nelson? My God. But critics suggested icons like Willie Nelson, known for his advocacy for marijuana legalization, and comedy duo Cheech and Chong should have been included. Instead, the consensus among the critic was that the list failed to represent the most influential figures in cannabis culture accurately. Yeah, Willie Nelson and Cheech and Chong could have gotten rid of Wiz and Seth Rogen. I mean, Snoop, sure, he's like Johnny-come-lately, same with Wiz, but come on, man. Cheech and Chong? You forget Cheech and Chong? What's wrong with y'all? I'm not even into that shit, and I would say Cheech and Chong. Come on, man. Anyway, don't yell at us. We smoked before we made this. Who's missing? All right, let's look at the replies to Complex Magazine. Who's missing? Bob Marley, Tommy Chong, Carl Sagan, William Shakespeare. Oh, my God. If expanded, then it would include Snoop Dogg, Willie Nelson. Wiz is a good guy, but Seth Rogen, get out of here. Yeah. Donald Trump is missing. He may not smoke very much, but he deserves to be on Mount Rushmore. Oh, come on, man. Replace Seth Kendrick. No. Anyway, a lot of Willie Nelsons. There's Cheech and Chong and Willie. Yeah, there's the one. That would Mount Cushmore. There you go, Mount Cushmore. That's funny. There's Cheech and Chong and Bob Marley and Willie Nelson. Definitely. So anyway, there you go. That's the controversy over 420. That's all I'm going to talk about 420 today because it was yesterday and I didn't get to talk about it. Yeah, fixed it. That's how you fix it. Put those guys on it. Would you include Bill Clinton? I tried to twice but never inhaled. There you go. That's good. Anyway, Bill Maher maybe? Sure, maybe Bill Maher. Hell, you could probably put what was it? You could probably put Elon Musk on there smoking weed on Joe Rogan's show. That was anyway. Put Styx Hexenhammer on Mount Rushmore with Bob Marley. Maybe Styx too. Yeah, there you go. All right. So there's that controversy. Next on here, also today is the anniversary of the battle at San Jacinto, where here, let me just give you I'll have to read this because on April 21st, 2025 marks the 189th anniversary of the Battle of San Jacinto, a pivotal event in the Texas Revolution. On April 21st, 1836, General Sam Houston led the Texas Army to a swift victory over General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna's Mexican forces near present-day Houston, Texas. The battle lasted only 18 minutes. How did a battle last only 18 minutes without a big-ass bomb? But resulted in significant Mexican casualties and secured Texas's independence from Mexico, leading to the establishment of the Republic of Texas. This day is celebrated as San Jacinto Day, highlighting the courage and determination that shaped Texas history. Am I pronouncing that right? San Jacinto? Good morning, Scribe, Dog Thrabble, and Hoko Sports is in the house. What's up? So yeah, this is when Texas got its independence and then later joined the Union of the United States of America. So there you go. Independence Day declared on March 2nd, became independent, secured at the Battle of San Jacinto on April 21st, 1836. Excuse me. It had been a high-stakes gambit with only two possible outcomes. Independence would be victoriously secured in a flash, or Texas would be drowned in the blood of patriots. There would be no draw. So in broad daylight, with Sam Houston himself leading the infantry, the Texans charged on the napping Mexican army before firing their first shots and charging on the Mexican position. The afternoon silence was broken by men shouting, "Remember the Alamo. Remember Golland." To simply note that the battle lasted less than 20 minutes doesn't do justice to the scale of the victory. Nearly 700 Mexican soldiers were killed, another 200 were wounded, and some 700 were taken prisoner, including the president of Mexico, Santa Anna himself. In contrast, the Texans just lost just 9 men, and only 30 were wounded. What's true in 1836 is true today. Liberty doesn't come in timid nibbles, but through bold actions. Never in history has liberty been expanded in a gradual series of small steps over time. Indeed, that's how tyrannies take hold. Liberty is not achieved through timidity, but rather is born from boldness. When people decide they are willing to lose everything, then rather live as serfs. That is when tyrants quiver and fall. Sam Houston and the militia of San Jacinto knew their odds and took bold action. For the Lone Star State to shine even brighter in the years ahead, we must continually recommit to doing likewise. That's somebody named Michael Quinn Sullivan writing that. Very poetic. And there you go. So the Battle of San Jacinto. Born from Bull Dykes. No, not born from Bull Dykes. What? Wait, what? What did I read here? Wait, I don't even know what you just said. Born's the word born. I don't even know. Oh, but rather born from boldness, not Bull Dykes. What the hell are you listening to? Am I slurring that bad? Have I had too many shots of rye? What are you talking about? Anyway, moving on. The other day we talked about David Hogg, and David Hogg was on one of the nets this weekend. But I think David Hogg, one of the things that came up when he said he may have done something bad, well, apparently he made some donations that have ruffled some feathers in the Democratic Party. David Hogg, vice chair of the Democratic National Committee, recently donated $100,000 to the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. This donation follows his public statements advocating for primary challenges against what he considers ineffective Democratic incumbents. The move has led to a split reaction within the party, with some seeing it as a necessary shakeup, while others view it as a disruption to the party unity. So, wait a minute. Why does David Hogg even have $100,000? Why? Anyway, he's looking at primarying some Democrats, and he got on the news. Here's Donna Brazile was talking about this and he was on the show. Donna Brazile, I can't tell. I'm trying to read her take here. on whether or not she is happy about David Hogg's new position on attacking Democrats. But here's what she said on ABC's This Week.
They're losing trust in all of our institutions, the media, business, whole of civil society. We're in a crisis. I don't know if we want to call it a constitutional crisis, but we're in a...
No, Democrats just suck.
As former President Biden was here, an inflection point.
No, they suck.
Look, I think what David is trying to do is to not just help to re-energize the party, but to help rebrand the Democratic Party. The concern that offices...
Yes, please go the AOC route. Please go way out there, crazy left. Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. Do more of that.
The DNC, right now, they have signed the neutrality pledge. David did not sign the neutrality pledge. So he's in hot water with Ken. I told him he threw a rock in the water, and him and the two of them and the officers, they got to get out of the hot water. But that's not my position right now. My position is many of these so-called safe blue seats, and I can get in trouble. Many of them are seats that women and minorities finally had an opportunity to come and sit in, because there were no seats at the table for us. So before you...
So you put in the most radical people in the safe seats, and your party's approval rating drops. Or maybe, who knows? Maybe they could fill all those safe seats with radical left-wing Democrats, and maybe their popularity will rise. Who knows? Let's do that experiment. I think people love to see people on the fringe in power. I'm sure they'd love that. Yeah, I'm just saying.
You start wiping clean the menu and the plates and the seats, be very careful, because many of those seats are in districts where we
former party chairman, Durance, how would you handle a vice chair who was going to primary?
Well, I'll answer and then I'll explain it. I mean, unfortunately, David, I'd have you removed from the party.
Oh, but that's Reince Priebus. He's former RNC chair, so who knows? If someone in vice chair started coming in and wanting to primary all the Republicans, what would they do? He says they would remove him. I'm sure, but David's face there tells a lot. Anyway, yeah. Apparently he's seriously looking at. Shut up. He's looking at. Siri, shut up. I know, to cancel. I hate when my phone does that. I should just turn it off. Anyway, someone here says, let's see, Elijah Manley is deleting a lot of stuff by just looking at the exchange. It's easy to fill the gaps. Also, David Hogg needs to step down from being vice chair if he wants to run his PAC that seeks to unseat current Democratic House leaders. Yeah, that's what he wants to do. And he wants to throw some of the radicals in there. Hakeem Jeffries is not a seat at the table. Yeah, true. Well, him and then who's the last Speaker of the House? Anyway, yeah, Hakeem Jeffries is at the table, right? AOC is at the table. Who gets the most ink and most press time right now? Rashida Taliban and Jayapal and AOC and Hakeem Jeffries and you know, now what's that Garcia dude from California? I mean, that's all they're getting, and they're all nut. Well, not all of them. They're kind of nut jobs in some ways. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors, by the way. And Evan S. I said, collect $100,000. Well, no, David Hogg has very successfully monetized his victimhood, or excuse me, not even victim, his near victimhood at Coleman, Douglas, whatever that name of the school is. So anyway, yeah, so David Hogg kind of predicted that some of his foibles would be ruffling feathers in the Democratic Party, and he was correct. So there you go. Another name that popped up over the weekend who, I don't know, I haven't decided whether to laugh or cry, but it's related to the thing that happened in Frisco, Texas, with the one student stabbing another and killing him. And that would be Jake Lang. And this dickhead, Jake Lang, he's a former January 6th prisoner, and I don't think he got a fair rap, at least as far as trial, the way they handled it. And so I don't think he deserved a pardon just like everybody else, even though he was one of the ones who actually was violent on January 6th. He decided to have a protest down in Frisco, Texas. Let's see, where's the one? Is this it? Where's the one? Oh, that's not it. Where's the one? Where's the other one? Shoot, I accidentally made two of the same thing. Anyway, this dickhead decided to have a rally in Frisco, Texas on behalf of white people. A kind of a protect white people, a White Lives Matter protest. And what's dumb about it is this is one of those things that nobody really wanted. And about 17 people showed up. And but he got some press and he got some other people down there with him. And this happened. So he took a call from Austin Metcalf's father, who said, I don't want to be a part of this. Stop using my son's likeness. And then this exchange happened during this protest where he's on the phone. And again, the protest was tiny. There was, like I said, it maybe had 20 people. And this one brother, well, two brothers here. But anyway, this is Jake Lang talking to Austin Metcalf's father.
Why can't you stand that and say with that? Maybe you can. Would you be willing to stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest the beautiful young man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices.
Now listen to Austin Metcalf's dad. Because right now, this guy, look, I get there's a racial aspect to it, but it's turned silly and it's turned stupid. Because everyone's trying to divide everyone on race. And this is not a racial issue. It shouldn't be. But it unfortunately it is. But anyway, listen to him talking to Austin Metcalf's dad, the father of the deceased young man who wanted nothing to do with this little protest Jake Lang came up with.
Voices, if he was still alive today. Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, my turn to speak. You are part of the fucking problem, my friend. You're trying to create more race divide than bridging the gap. I do not condone anything you do. You do not have any fucking...
That's called white guilt.
No. Oh, I can't recall a time where I've wanted to punch somebody in the face as much. Well, no, I can, but this is one of those times. One of those times.
Let it talk.
My son, let me finish. I give you your time. You take my son's face off your website. I am not associated with you.
You're creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness, sir.
Oh, good God.
You are creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness.
You are being weak. I gotta be honest with you about that, sir.
You're being weak. Condemn your son's killer and the culture that caused it.
Hey, Jeff.
That's the problem.
So I it's like, look. I guess the thing that bothers me, and I'm not going to talk a lot about this today. I try to stay off this topic because it just pisses me off. The thing that bothers me about people on both sides of this shit, the black activists, defending the little dickhead with a knife, okay? And I don't blame the kid's parents. The kid grew up with two parents in a suburb, in a nice home and whatnot. And this dumbass decided to bring a knife to school. It's not, his parents didn't ask for that. His parents are just kind of stuck with it because their son did something fucking stupid. And I don't, and then some of the out there little like gripper type motherfuckers like it's that dickhead Nick Fuentes and this guy and whatever out there trying to make this a white versus black thing when originally this race had nothing to do with this shit at the beginning, But it became that way because everyone decided they're going to take some polarizing position rather than just look at the facts of the case, which are not good for the kid with the knife. Not good. Not good for him. He's gonna probably go to jail because the way Texas law is, that's not self-defense if you egg someone on. If you invite that and then with warning someone you're gonna stab somebody. So that's not gonna work. That the self-defense should not work under Texas law. Now if it does, it's gonna be some fucked up shit happen in the court, whatever. And then we'll have another conversation about that. But at this point, if everything that we know so far is true, the kid doesn't have a self-defense case. But it's not because one is white and one's black. If the race is reversed, it'd be the same fucking thing. If they were both the same race, it'd be the same fucking thing. But everyone out here trying to throw this big race war wrench into it, y'all need to shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. It pisses me off to no fucking end. Kamala has two problems. All weapons are barred on school grounds in Texas, and the touch me, see what happens. That's exactly his problem. Okay? Now, I know a lot of people supporting Carmelo aren't supporting him because they think what he did was right, although he's like, I know they all bring up the Kyle Rittenhouse shit. Some people are just doing it because there's dickheads like this not wanting him to get due process. They're out here with pitchforks and tiki torches for that. And I'm like, armored armory shooters tried self-defense, and they did not have a self-defense argument either. Once you looked at the facts of the case, they did not have a self-defense argument. Kyle Rittenhouse did have a self-defense argument. That was correct. So how about just if these people just let this shit play out? The tribalism is not. All you're doing is, it's almost as if, dare I say it? It's almost as if the Russians were sowing division. This is insane, if you ask me. So anyway, this is Christy Kelly. Jake Lang and Vote Harris Out called the father of Austin Metcalf weak. Jeff Metcalf strongly reboots their Protect White People efforts and demands that they do not use Austin. This poor father. Carmelo Anthony's family needs to fire the BLM preacher. This father wants peace. This is 100% not okay. So, and also, Carmelo Anthony's lawyer needs to be fired too. Just for the stupid shit he's been saying. At least the only people who seem to be saying this is Jeff Metcalf, who's like, look, I understand that we're going to go through a trial. We don't need to start any race shit over this. This is just something that happened. His personal thing is he forgives Carmelo Anthony, but still thinks he should go through the process and be, be prosecuted. He's not backing down from that, but he personally took a Christ-like stance on it. She came out. Someone said this is 100% not okay. Let's let the legal process play out. Exactly. She continues, this man has just lost his child. Let him mourn in peace. He's under no obligation to become an activist. The audacity of anyone to call him weak. Unbelievable. Carmelo Anthony's camp made a huge mistake not speaking to him in private. 100% that stupid, Minister Dominic Alexander is a horrible advisor. All those who had so much smoke for Carmelo's advisor throwing out Jeff Metcalf. What about Jake Lang berating the father and calling him weak? No, but everyone I'm seeing online is saying that Jake Lang or whatever needs to shut the fuck up too. Nobody likes this motherfucker. And a lot of the J6ers hate him too, as a grandstander. Hello, GDSOB. A lot of the people on the right playing this out too are doing the same shit. I can't stand these motherfuckers. Anyway, that's in the links. Real quick, thank you, Avocados Diabli, first sponsor of the day, dropping a small
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day.
Yes, that, and thank you for sponsoring the show. 80 says they need to reboot the 80s show Voyagers, where that guy and the kid travel through time fixing historical events. Then have an episode where they need to make sure David Hogg gets to school on time. Oh my God, or is that too much? Oh my God. 80. Let's just hold off on that one. That'd be an awful episode. Holy shit. Anyway, that's funny as hell. All right, moving on. I got to move on because I want to make sure I get a lot of news in. The biggest news, breaking news this morning, if you haven't already heard, Pope Francis has died. Pope Francis has died. The Pope Francis. By the way, I'll get to some of the criticism. Let's just do a couple posts that are factual, and then we'll get to some of the reactions because there's a whole lot of shit in the reactions. Good God. Anyway, Pope Francis dead at 88, sending Catholic Church into mourning. Reflection as world speculates on a possible successor. Francis, the 266th Supreme Pontiff of the Roman Catholic Church and spiritual shepherd of her estimated 1.39 billion members, for more than 12 years, died on Monday at Rome in Rome at age 88, weeks after being hospitalized February 14th for 38 days to treat double pneumonia, according to the Vatican. Cardinal Kevin Farrell, Carmelengo Chamberlain of the Apostle Chamber, announced the Pope's death, a stunning term for the most joyous celebration of the church liturgical calendar at Easter. Yeah, he just literally... He was talking to people yesterday. He celebrated Easter's, service that came out on the balcony of the Vatican, and then he's died this morning. Dearest brothers and sisters, this is the message he gave. Dearest brothers and sisters, with deep sorrow, I must announce the death of our Holy Father, Francis, at 7:35 this morning. The Bishop of Rome, Francis, returned to the house of his father. His entire life was dedicated to the service of the Lord and of his church. He taught us to live the values of the gospel with fidelity, courage, and universal love, especially in favor of the poorest and most marginalized. With immense gratitude for his example as a true disciple of the Lord Jesus, we commend the soul of Pope Francis to the infinite merciful love of the one and trine God. I've never heard that word used, but anyway. Hello, Resolute Germ, by the way. Vice President J.D. Vance met with the Holy Father only hours earlier. Whoops, wrong one. Let me try that again. Vice President J.D. Vance met with the Holy Father only hours earlier. It's good to see you in better health, France told the Pope. Oh my God. Is that like the kissing your cheek on the Godfather? It's good to see you in better health, Vance told the Pope on Easter Sunday as they began their conversation. His Holiness gifted him with a Vatican tie, blessed rosaries, and 3 Easter eggs for his children. Before departing the brief encounter, Vance revealed to the Bishop of Rome, I pray for you every day. So Pope Francis then made a rare and final public appearance to the crowd gathered after Mass in St. Peter's Square for his Urbi et Orbi, the city and for the world blessing. Brothers and sisters, happy Easter, the Vicar of Christ said with some effort, and waving, delighting those who unknowingly numbered among the final crowds to see him in person. Unbelievable. I mean, this is so weird. Hello, Tyre, by the way. Oh, I said Tyre this morning. Didn't I? Did I say? Did J.D. Vance whack the Pope? Well, that's the question people have. Let me get to that. So, as the news broke across Christendom and the world, church bells began to solemnly toll, and the prayers of millions were raising gratitude for his life and hope and concern for the future of the church, and to beseech God's mercy upon the deceased vicar of Christ. Pope Francis' health in his final days drew attention after a number of his public events were canceled and delegated to others. So this is just a bunch of stuff about what's going on in his history or whatever, a long article about it. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. And this is the one in the Daily Caller. Here's the one in New York Post. Pope Francis became the first South American and first Jesuit to ascend to the most powerful position in the Catholic Church. And he died one day after Easter Sunday. Cardinal Kevin Farrell, the Vatican Carmelengo, Chamberlain, made the announcement. I'm not going to read these articles. You can read these yourself. But there's a bunch of different stuff's trending because of the Pope dying. And so we're going to go through a few of them real quick. Obviously, Pope Francis. Now, one of the first posts on here about him, Isaiah Carter says, I will not lie about who this actually was. Pope Francis was a communist in papal robes as much as a servant of Lucifer as pontiffs of old, such as Boniface VIII. Pope Francis was as much of a red bishop as Elder Persona Camara, yet was able to hide it much longer than he was. Though my heart goes out to my Catholic friends and followers, I must say this. I don't think this guy got past St. Peter. Oh, snap. That's pretty harsh, right? Here, the worst part about Pope Francis's death is having to listen to all the gushing about what a good man he was. The man was a communist. There was nothing good about him. All you had to do was look at his eyes to see he was a demon. If this offends you, sorry about it. Good Lord. What is this one? Oh, and this Alex Cole quotes the Pope about, I guess this has to do with American immigration. It's hypocrisy to call yourself a Christian and chase away a refugee or someone seeking help, someone who is hungry or thirsty, toss out someone who's in need of my help. If I say I am Christian but do these things, I'm a hypocrite. I guess this is Alex Cole, who hates everyone in power right now. And then Natalie, this another one. Crazy that the last public appearance Pope Francis did was with J.D. Vance, a guy from Ohio. May he rest in peace. Who, the Pope or J.D. Vance? I haven't decided. So anyway, that obviously Pope Francis is trending. Oh, also the White House posted this. Rest in peace, Pope Francis, with pictures of Donald Trump and J.D. Vance with the Pope. To which, of course, some people would be just let's see. Terrence Webb says, somebody ignorant commented, hey, ask Perplexity, why are liberals in the comments blaming J.D. Vance for Pope Francis's death? Are they sick, evil, or just flat out stupid? Yes, lots of people blaming J.D. Vance for Pope Francis's death. We'll get to that. Hamas apparently is mourning the Pope. Hamas mourns the Pope Francis in a statement. We extend our deepest condolences and heartfelt sympathy to the Catholic Church worldwide and to all Christians on the passing of His Holiness Pope Francis, Pope of the Vatican, who passed away after a life full of dedication to human and religious values. The late Pope Francis had notable positions on promoting the values of interfaith dialogue, calling for understanding and peace among nations, and rejecting hatred and racism. He repeatedly expressed his opposition to aggression and wars around the world and was one of the prominent religious voices who condemned war crimes and genocide. To which someone replied, Hamas didn't mourn Pope Francis because of his character. They mourned him because he lent moral weight to their narrative. Sadly, even good men can become useful tools for dangerous causes. Compassion without clarity is easily hijacked. So there's a counter to that. Also trending because of it. Oh, by the way, I was trying to figure out how many popes I had lived through. So I asked Grok, and apparently I have lived through, this was my fifth pope, Paul VI, John Paul I, John Paul II, Benedict XIV, and Francis I. So I will have I'll soon have my sixth pope, even though I'm not Catholic. I just thought you'd be thrilled with that information. Casa Santa Maria, that's because that's the residence of the Pope, is trending. Pope Francis died Easter Monday, April 21st, at the age of 88, at his residence in the Vatican's Casa Santa Maria. Casa Santa Marta. Casa Santa Marta. So that's trending. Also, sede vacante, which it means the seat is empty, is trending because that's the website for the Vatican has already placed that name in the Vatican's website has officially declared the state of sede vacante. The seat of Peter is vacant. Pray for the Catholic Church as we go through a difficult period. So that's why that's trending. Also, John Paul II is still basically considered the last great pope. Yeah, this pope was very controversial. He was the first Westerner, or person born in a Western country in this hemisphere to be the pope. And I'll get to who possibilities for the next pope, but let's go through these trending topics. Also, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, I don't know. That's his real name, Pope Francis. Here's a look back when Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio became Pope Francis in 2013. So that's Bergoglio, not to be confused with Cornholio. Then also Holy Father's trending. Again, J.D. Vance said, today I met with the Holy Father, Pope Francis. I'm grateful for his invitation to meet, and I pray for his good health. Happy Easter. To which Pope Francis said, bye-bye, immediately. Bad timing. Yeah, he posted that last night, or 10:27 a.m. yesterday, and the next day the Pope is dead. So anyway, wait a minute. A minute ago, he was so close to death, they didn't even have a word for it. It's a miracle he survived, and he's here with us on Easter. Yeah, he ended up, he said goodbye on Easter. Hello, Special Can Acid on the list of honorable mention. Favorite Canadians. Welcome, sir. So anyway, that's, Holy Father's trending. Bishop of Rome is trending because I guess they consider the Pope the Bishop of Rome. Jesuit is trending because, again, Pope Francis, it was the first Jesuit cardinal of the Jesuit order to be made Pope. And a lot of people were critical of that too. So, for example, here, to the cardinals, give us a pope, not a politician, not another Jesuit. The radicals are done. Restore the church's moral authority and reject woke ideology. We need someone like Pope St. John Paul II. So someone did mention St. John Paul II in the chat. I think there was a reaction in Puerto Rico, the last great pope, he says. Someone here said, the counter to that, a Jesuit pope always felt right. Pope Francis walked with the poor, the queer, the women, the cast aside. He faced fire among the conservatives, but he never wavered. He's a moral compass in a dark, chaotic world. Rest easy, Lolo Kiko. Thank you for giving us hope. So some people like the fact that he bent the rules a little bit. I don't know if he bent the rules. Look, you could walk aside I shouldn't say degenerates, but you can walk aside the sinners and still realize they are sinners who need to be forgiven. I don't have a problem with that, but it seemed that sometimes this Pope didn't necessarily stick with Catholic doctrine, and also he was quite political too. He was quite political, and some people liked that, some people didn't. Thank you, Avocados Diabli, with another small bullet in the tip jar, who says, way to go, JD. Not many people can cross off killed the Pope on their bucket list. Oh, God. Also trending because of the Pope, John Paul. Both John Pauls were fairly popular, but John Paul II was especially revered. Yesterday, I knelt in St. Peter's Square to receive Pope Francis' blessing. Today, while praying at the tomb of St. John Paul the Great, I received notification that Pope Francis died. I ran to the tomb of Peter to pray for Peter's successor, Pope Francis. That is some of the Father Eric Garris. John Paul II, Benedict the 16th, and Francis, they all wanted to meet Joe Biden and liked him. Did they, though? Did they? Yeah. So Joe Biden met all three of those popes. What about the other two, though? It's funny they don't have pictures with Joe Biden with the other two. And whether they liked him or not, who gives a shit? Just to be honest. I'm pretty sure that they all, in fact, I think it was John Paul II who kind of gave Joe Biden the business about his stance on abortion rights. I think it was if I remember right, I think John Paul II really didn't, whether he liked him or not, gave him the business about that. College of Cardinals is trending because, like the Electoral College of the United States, they got to elect a new pope, and the College of Cardinals makes that decision. So let's see. Here's the thread. Oh, no, I don't need a thread on the Pope. Let's talk. My mother literally woke me up to tell me the Pope was dead. Who do you think I am? The dean of the College of Cardinals? Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of people. It's so funny too. Yesterday I had Easter brunch with my family, my daughter and the two babies and grandmas and my wife, and we all were at a table, and somehow that came up that J.D. Vance met with the Pope, and my mother-in-law insisted that no, he didn't meet with the Pope. He met with some second level cardinal. But no, J.D. Vance did eventually meet the Pope, too, because we obviously have pictures of it. But this announcement this morning, I'm sure lots of people are waking up going, wait a minute, what? But we just saw him on the balcony at St. Peter's Square. And, why? What do you mean he's dead? So anyway, someone here says, I hope the College of Cardinals chooses a Pope who is equally progressive and compassionate. Pope Francis was a beacon for hope for many, especially those who had long felt alienated or disillusioned by the church. He made us realize that faith can evolve with sympathy and love. Yeah, well, and there's others who are saying just the opposite, that he was a little too just whatever. Oh, what's this? College of Cardinals now has the opportunity to do the most base thing possible. Pope Francis appoints first ever new cardinal of Palestinian origin. Yeah, whatever. The Catholic Church and the College of Cardinals need to have the next pope be militantly traditional. Modern crusades are needed. Snap. Ooh, duh, we don't need that. Hello, Big Dave. What's up? Oh, Lord. Following the death of Pope Francis, the College of Cardinals have elected Denise Welch as the next pope. Okay, no. They ain't going to do that. So anyway, here's a post. The corridors of the Vatican are abuzz with whispered discussions, and eyes are turning to the College of Cardinals, where the next leaders of the 1.3 billion Catholics may already be among them. The Vatican stands at a crossroads, grappling with an inevitable question: who will lead the church next? And one name that keeps coming up is this one, Cardinal Robert Serra, a Guinean Catholic prelate known for his influential roles. A lot of people are saying this could be a choice. He's a conservative, pro-life, anti-woke, and has compared Western woke liberal cultural trends to communism and Nazism. Well. Are you ready for a black pope? If this is him, I'm just saying. Born on June 15, 1945 in Orias, Guinea, to a family of animist converts to Christianity, Sarah was inspired by missionary priests and entered the St. Augustine Minor Seminary in Bingerville, Ivory Coast at age 12. Since at age 12, damn. Hello, anonymity. T2, I'll be back. He was ordained a priest on July 20th, 1969 in Conakry, Guinea, and later earned licentiates in theology from the Pontifical Gregorian University in Rome and in scripture from the Studium Biblicum Franciscanium in Jerusalem. Okay. At 34, Sarah was appointed Archbishop of Conakry in 1979 by Pope John Paul II, becoming one of the world's youngest bishops. He served during the oppressive regime of Ahmed Sékou Touré, resisting Marxist policies and maintaining the church's independence, earning widespread respect in Guinea. In 2001, he was named the Secretary of the Congregation for Evangelization. Good God, too many big words. Of peoples, serving nearly a decade. In 2010, Pope Benedict XVI appointed him president of the Pontifical Council, cor unum and elevated him to cardinal. From 2014 to 2021, Sarah served as a prefect of the Congregation for Divine Worship and the Discipline of the Sacraments under Pope Francis, retiring at age 75. A vocal advocate for traditional Catholic teaching, Sarah has emphasized sexual morality, the right to life, liturgical reverence, often promoting practices like ad orientem worship. He has criticized Western cultural trends, including gender ideology, abortion, same-sex marriage, comparing their impact to historical ideologies like Nazism and communism. Oh, shit. That would piss off the liberals, I'll tell you that. He's also denounced Islamist radicalism, particularly ISIS, for its threats to family structures. His 2023 dubia to Pope Francis, alongside 4 other cardinals, sought clarity on doctrinal issues like same-sex blessings and women's ordination, reflecting his orthodox concerns. So that's one of the people in the running, and who knows? We might have a black pope. Black pope isn't referring to his skin color, though. But is he pro-Crusades 2.0? Maybe. That sounds like he might be. I'm just saying. All right. Thank you, Avocados Diablo. Another small blue in the tip jar says, imagine if we got a black pope who is not down with progressive ideals. They wouldn't know whether to celebrate it or condemn it. Their heads might explode trying to figure it out. Damn right. Damn right. Damn right. He'd be the Clarence Thomas of popes. You know what I'm saying? They would be pissed off. Sistine Chapel's also trending. Apparently, J.D. Vance had some pictures of himself in the Sistine Chapel, and people are pissed off because you're not supposed to take pictures in the Sistine Chapel. Okay, dumb shits. You're not supposed to do flash photography in the Sistine Chapel because that flash photography deteriorates whatever. But they took a picture without flashes, obviously, because look how dark the back of J.D. Vance is. Anyone who's been to the Sistine Chapel knows that this is one of these blue people. Anyone who's been to the Sistine Chapel knows that taking pictures inside is not only strictly prohibited, but incredibly disrespectful, so embarrassed by our government. Wrong. There's all kinds of pictures and video of the Sistine Chapel. Tonight's church, let's see. Oh, here's about the Sistine Chapel. Michelangelo's great, amazing frescoes. Tonight's church, the Sistine Chapel. The Sistine Chapel, built in 1437 to 1481 for Pope Sixtus IV, is a masterpiece of Renaissance art. Its wall features work by Botticelli and Perugino, but Michelangelo's ceiling, 1508 to 1512, The Last Judgment, 1534 to 41, steal the show. Originally a papal conclave site, it's now a global cultural treasure. So, again, people being mad because they took pictures in the Sistine Chapel. If you can take non-flash photography, no flashes. Anyone who's been to the Sistine Chapel has that picture inside of it. Anyone who disagrees with this is grandstanding and just hating on J.D. Vance. So there you go. That's why that's trending. But it is a magnificent. I would love to see the Sistine Chapel from the inside one of these days. I'll tell you what. When I was in Austria and in Germany, we got to go inside St. Stephen's and just several old fucking churches. Like St. Stephen's, I think was built in 895. Excuse me. The 9th century. There were some Gothic churches in Vienna. There's a huge Gothic church built in like 1100. Some of these, and the frescoes in some of these churches are just, you're like, how the fuck did they do that? You're looking up at a ceiling that's, 80 feet high, and you're like, who painted this shit? The scaffolding and the technique and the precision they had to do to paint some of these frescoes were just crazy. So I would love to see the Sistine Chapel too. It'd be just awesome. So here we go. So anyway, that's trending. And then J.D. Vance is trending. J.D. Vance's Sistine Chapel photo. Respect or breach? Over Easter weekend, Vice President J.D. Vance was reportedly photographed inside the Sistine Chapel in Vatican City. While flash photography is strictly prohibited to preserve the art, Opinions vary on whether non-flash photography is also against the rules. Some social media users argue that all photography is forbidden, while others claim that non-flash photos are commonly taken. The Vatican's stance on general photography remains clear, but the specific policy on non-flash photography might need further clarification. Well, here's the deal. And we were instructed in every church we went into over there when we were in that continent that you can take pictures, but no flashes, please, because flashes of light over time deteriorate the art. So anyway, but so many people, this administration has no respect for anyone or anything. Photos are not allowed in the Sistine Chapel. I've been there a few times. Bitch, please. No flash photography is allowed. If you'd actually been there, a lot of people take pics in the Sistine Chapel because you can do it without flash now. That's the whole thing. The reason they didn't allow flash photography is because flashes of light deteriorate color in the art. So anyway, that's stupid. And then this picture, I just laughed. That's obviously the thumbnail, but man, this is no meme. J.D. Vance killed Pope Francis. Yeah, no, he didn't. But anyway. And so Antichrist is trending, saying that perhaps J.D. Vance is the Antichrist. Or J.D. Vance is the Antichrist. J.D. Vance granted lightning audience with Pope Francis. Pope Francis, ground-breaking Jesuit pontiff, dies. So anyway, now, and then people are comparing it to when Liz Truss, remember the conservative politician, met with Queen Elizabeth, and then Queen Elizabeth died the next day. Pope Francis really met J.D. Vance, then died instantly, just like how the Queen met Liz Truss, then croaked the day after. Right-wingers are really demons. No, you are really a dumbass for saying that. Hello, Selected Boy. Yeah, boy. So anyway, comparing that. And so some people are hoping that J.D. Vance will meet some other people. And then finally, Trish Paytas is trending. You know, remember Trisha Paytas, that internet sensation, kind of hefty chick, big hoots and stuff, and lower lots of makeup. Well, apparently, Trisha Paytas is with child, expecting a new child, and so people are now making the joke that perhaps Pope Francis will be reincarnated in Trish Paytas' baby. You're laughing? Pope Francis is about to be reincarnated as Trish Paytas' baby, and you're laughing? Come on, man. For fuck's sake, Trisha Paytas, it was supposed to be Trump and not the Pope. What? Oh, stop. People are like saying, oh, it should have been Trump. Pope Francis just died, and Trish Paytas is pregnant. Do you even know who I'm talking about? Never remember her? You remember who? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember who Trish Paytas is. No one's putting a picture of her in here. Trish Paytas, next baby will be resurrected the Pope. Everyone's saying it. It's going to be Trish Paytas' baby will be resurrected as the Pope. Here, I'm going to put her name in the chat and you can look it up. You'll know as soon as you see her if you've been on the internet anytime. There we go. There you go. That's her name. Yeah, here, Pope Francis dies. Social media reacts to Trisha Paytas' childbirth rumors. So anyway, if you don't know who that is, look it up. And then, finally, we're off the Pope. That's it. No more Pope. Yeah. We're done with the Pope. On to other news. Hey, I'm even making good time today. So I got a whole cargo load of other news. Apparently people are getting on Pete Hegseth again over the weekend. There's a claim that Pete Hegseth was on another call or something with somebody and supposedly told them classified information. And all the outlets came out with it at the same time, which is concerning. But someone here says, this is one of these left-wing shills, in a shocking uncovered video from 2023, Pete Hegseth called for Biden to be held accountable for handling classified documents flippantly. If at the very top there's no accountability, then we have 2 tiers of justice. Pete Hegseth has to resign. Okay, because they're saying he's disclosed classified information. So anyway, where is it here? In fact, they have several clips of, Pete Hegseth talking about classified information. Now some people saying, here it is, breaking news, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is said to have shared Yemen attack details in a second signal chat that included his wife and brother. So that's the talking point right now. And I guess we should figure out if he did or not. But, and then so they're here. Oh, and here's he also said, Pete Hegseth, on this Easter morning, remember that the grave could not hold the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, Jesus Christ. Tomb is empty. He faced death and won. Okay, that's his Easter blessing. That's not what I wanted to talk about. This is funny though. Here's something Pete Hegseth did. So the Democrats, here we go. The Democrats puts up here, Pete Hegseth needs to go. To which he responded, your agenda is illegals, trans, and DEI, all of which are no longer allowed at the Department of Defense. Which is fairly savage. And he says this is Pete's point of view because they say he's an alcohol. He has alcohol problems. So that's funny that he snapped back at the Democrats. But where is the news? Maybe it's this next one here. Here it is. So Defense Secretary Hegseth, Yemen strike details leak. Now, again, this is Grok summarizing what people on X are saying. So we'll see if an actual news story. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is under scrutiny for allegedly sharing classified details about a military airstrike in Yemen with his family members via private signal group chats. The incident, reported by multiple news outlets, all at the same time, by the way, included sharing specifics about the timing and flight schedules of the attacks planned for March 15, 2025, which was last month. The leaks have prompted discussions on information security and protocol within high-level government roles. So Pete Buttigieg chimes in, of course, advanced information on U.S. combat operations is classified. Pretending otherwise is an insult to our troops who all know this. The secretary is unfit to lead. And Robbie Starbuck comments on this. There's a highly orchestrated campaign afoot to take down Pete Hegseth. Everyone needs to have his back and support him right now. Remember this, Democrat desperation to get rid of a Trump pick is directly correlated to how effective they are. Best Secretary of Defense we could ask for. Breaking, New York Times, Kyle Griffith is anti-Trump. Pete Hegseth shared detailed information about forthcoming strikes. Forthcoming? You mean past strikes? In a signal group chat that included his wife, brother, and personal lawyer. The info included the flight schedules for the FA-18 Hornets targeting the Houthis in Yemen. And that's according to the New York Times article, which I'll post here. And let me just put it as a archive versions if you want to read this article yourself. I'm sure it's already there. I am not a robot. I'm not a robot, fuckers. All right. So here's the New York Times article. Hegseth is said to have shared attack details in a second signal chat. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth shared detailed information about forthcoming strikes in Yemen on March 15th in a private signal group chat. Okay, we just read that in the other guy's tweet. Some of those people said that the information Hegseth shared on the signal chat included flight schedules for the FA-18 Hornets targeting the Houthis in Yemen. Houthis in Yemen, essentially the same attack plans that he shared on a separate signal chat the same day that mistakenly included the editor of The Atlantic. Mr. Hegseth's wife, Jennifer, former Fox News producer, is not a Defense Department employee, but she has traveled with him overseas and drawn criticisms for accompanying her husband on sensitive meeting with foreign leaders. Wow, who does that sound like? Accompany your husband, sensitive meetings, cabinet. That sounds like Jill Biden, doesn't it? Anyway, which I'm not justifying, and I'm just saying. Mr. Hegseth's brother Phil and Tim Politor who continue to serve as his personal lawyers, both have jobs in the Pentagon, but it is not clear why either would need to know about upcoming military strikes aimed at Houthis in Yemen. So they go on, and I guess this is where the article came from, and then all the other media have been piling on this. So, again, this is going to have to play along. But, of course, we have our daily Krasenstein. Urgent breaking. New York Times reports on March 15th, Pete Hegseth dropped precise intel on upcoming Yemen strikes into a private second signal chat with just 4 recipients, his wife, his brother, and his personal attorney. Among details, the departure times of the F-18 Hornets slated to hit Houthi targets. Remove Pete Hegseth now. Okay. And so lots of people are taking shots at him. Look, I don't know if I guess we'll find out more details on this as it goes along, because certainly he'll be digging that up. And, if he did something wrong, sure, maybe he should step down. We'll see. I guess we'll find out later. The one thing, though, that he did, and that was pretty good here, this one breaking, Colonel Shayla Baez, the individual who refused to display photos of the President Trump, Vice President Vance, and Pete Hegseth at her base, has been suspended at Fort McCoy as Fort McCoy commander. And then there's others saying that recruitment is up, morale is up in the military. So could that be completely due to Pete Hegseth? Maybe. Guess we'll find out. There'll be a lot more details on that later. Other news, Klaus Schwab, the true Antichrist, has abruptly stepped down as the president of the World Economic Forum, the WEF. Now, who knows what's going on there? But someone here says, this is 56. The Pope dies, Klaus Schwab resigns, and now this. And I thought my birthday was going to be just another boring Monday. It's only 7:35. I don't know what that is. Oh, beautiful sunrise. But anyway, Klaus Schwab has resigned from the WEF effective immediately. Which makes me wonder. Ooh, it makes me wonder. What is going on? World Economic Forum announces governance transition. Klaus Schwab, chairman of the board of trustees, the chairman of the board, I guess, not the president, of the World Economic Forum, has informed the board following my recent announcement. And as I enter my 88th year, I've decided to step down from the position of chair and as a member of the board of trustees with immediate effect. Now, it's not Thursday, but FTG Klaus Schwab. Fuck that guy. He was a scary motherfucker. A German with take over the world fantasies. Fuck that guy. He was already retired. Well, then he stepped. But I don't know why they made this announcement then. Anyway, Klaus Schwab, founder and longtime chairman of the World Economic Forum, has resigned from his position with immediate effect. This unexpected announcement was made public this morning. His departure follows a 55-year tenure where he has shaped global economic discussions, particularly noted for promoting the concept of the Great Reset. Fuck that guy. I don't care. I don't see any... No one's writing. I don't see any. I guess, there are articles, but no one's linking them for some reason. But lots of articles about it. So, fuck Klaus Schwab. Thank you, Avocados Dabbly. Another small bullet in the tip jar. And you are still the Streamlab Superstar sponsor of the day. Who says, Klaus Schwab did not retire. He was really the Pope's alter ego, and now that he is dead, they needed to remove all his other identities from circulation. That is, whoops. Thank you. AD will be here the entire show. Congratulations. That was good. That was funny. All right. Jamie Raskin's trending. Jamie Raskin said an interesting thing over the weekend. And in some ways, I guess he's right. And this is one of those things where I say, anything you do or any change of the norm that you do while you were in power, remember that the person who's in power next can do this behind you. But Jamie Raskin has taken this a step further and is almost promising to certain world leaders that anyone who goes along with what Trump does, you're going to be in the crosshairs as soon as we get back in power. Here's Jamie Raskin saying something of that sort.
So I like that idea, and it's a compliment to something that we need to be doing right now, which is engaging in far more work of transnational democratic solidarity with the democratic governments and the democratic movements and peoples and parties of the world to try to prevent the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed against us. But implicit in it should be the idea that if and when we come back to power, and we will, we are not going to look kindly upon people who facilitated, to use a word of the day, who facilitated authoritarianism in our country. Because that's an assault
authoritarianism
on our Constitution.
You mean Joe Biden? You mean Joe Biden or Barack Obama? They did. Yeah, you see, again, everything Trump's doing is a extension of what the people before him did. And I don't like the super powerful president thing going on, but you know, you asked for it and you got it. Toyota. Is that how it goes? Anyways, not like that. But that Jamie Raskin is actually making a threat here, which is kind of his thing. He likes to threaten people with stuff. And so a lot of people saying Jamie Raskin is out of his mind. He does not have the authority to make these kinds of threats. Threatening countries that cooperate with the U.S. president is completely treasonous. Yeah, that's concerning. When we come back into power, we're not going to look kindly on you. So anyway, yeah, Dirty Q-Tip at it again. That's why he's trending. Oh, in the UK Parliament, apparently Trump's going over to the UK and was going to make a speech in front of Parliament. And there's people who think that maybe they don't want him to make a speech at Parliament. So they're kind of, I guess, some are throwing a hissy fit. What the hell? No. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. What the hell did I just do? I've been trying to fix my face as we've been playing along here. And it obviously hasn't been working. There we go. Let's turn the brightness down. That'll do. There we go. A coalition of UK parliamentarians. Is that what they... No. It should be members of parliament. Parliamentarians, aren't the parliamentarians the one who make sure you enforce the rules? Anyway, from both houses of both the House of Commons and the House of Lords have initiated a campaign to prevent former... Now, Grok still doesn't know that Trump is the president now. He's the president now, Grok. Stop calling him former U.S. president. Prevent U.S. President Donald Trump from addressing Parliament during his anticipated state visit to the UK in September. Concerns include Trump's previous statement regarding the UK, NATO, Ukraine, and his perceived disrespect for parliamentary democracy. This move has been publicized through various media, blah, blah, blah. So UK MPs and peers launched bid to stop Trump from addressing Parliament during a state visit, according to the HuffPost. They say the U.S. president's attitude towards Britain, NATO, and Ukraine, blah, 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 means he should not be given the honor. Okay, fuck off. I'm sure Trump would say. This is, and some people are really mad about this. This is unbelievable that this is even being considered. You can just imagine the nonsense, fabrication, and lies the few MPs who would even think about turning up for this would have to endure. I don't know. He's U.S. president. I don't know. So anyway, there are some who are going to resist. Resist we much. Also, here's another story. Now, this is interesting. Now, I saw this article from the Gateway Pundit, and I had to go to the source beforehand. Apparently, there's a Democrat judge in New Mexico who has abruptly resigned, kind of like Charles Klaus, or what's his name? Klaus Schwab, excuse me. Klaus Schwab. Anyway, Democrat judge in New Mexico abruptly resigns after suspected Tren de Aragua member found with a firearm at the judge's home. What? So I because Gateway Pundit sometimes is way out there, I decided to pull up the article that referenced called the Albuquerque Journal. I know it's not Albuquerque, but I think it's funnier to say it that way. In Los Cruces, New Mexico, Dona Ana County Magistrate Judge Joel Cano. Oh, he's a county judge. He's not a federal judge, is he? Okay. Why did Okay, no, he just said Democrat judge. Okay, anyway. Dona Ana Magistrate Judge Joel Cano has resigned from the bench where he has sat since 2011. Although his resignation letter, dated March 3rd, did not state the reason for stepping down, it followed shortly after a man awaiting deportation proceedings accused by federal law enforcement of being affiliated with the Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, was arrested at Cano's home. Christian Ortega Lopez, 23, faces federal firearm charges after Homeland Security investigations executed a search warrant on February 28th at a Las Cruces residence owned by Cano and his wife, the judge. Working with each of you has been a very rewarding experience for which I will remain eternally grateful, Cano wrote in a letter addressed to 3rd Judicial District Judge or Chief Judge Conrad Perea and court staff. The letter declared his last day as March 21st, which docket show was the last day he had hearings scheduled in court. Jose Joel Cano, a former police officer and Democrat, was first elected as magistrate judge in 2010 and ran unopposed in 3 subsequent elections, winning his 4th term in 2022. The details of Ortega Lopez's arrest and prior relationship with the Cano family are addressed in federal court motions seeking Ortega Lopez's detention. In New Mexico, federal district court prosecutors argue that Ortega Lopez is a flight risk and a danger to the community due to an alleged criminal history, including alleged ties to the Tren de Aragua gang in Venezuela. So, what the hell? Why is this guy got he's got a gang member in his house? And apparently, there's a picture of him with the dude. This is the judge, and this is the guy who he has a face tattoo. I mean, not that, face tattoo means you're automatically that dude, but come on now. So anyway, and then Gateway Pundit took it to another level. Where's Gateway Pundit? Oh, that's it. Where's the Gateway Pundit article? I had it. Well, here, let's just open that too. Even though I tend to shy away from Gateway Pundit, because sometimes he's super sensationalized. But here he is, like the judge here with some other brothers of the southern hemisphere type. But yeah, here's the dude that got arrested. And why is this guy at a judge's house? And so anyway, he abruptly left his post. All right, we're going to do a lightning round since I'm running out of time here. Let's see. Daily Wire. Apparently, there's been another arrest in Tesla vandalism. This one will be spending decades behind bars. Justice Department announced on Friday that a 19-year-old male college student has been arrested for allegedly setting on fire 2 Cybertrucks using homemade Molotov cocktails at a Tesla center in Kansas City. The suspect, Owen McIntyre, is charged with 1 count of unlawful possession of an unregistered destructive device and 1 count of malicious damage by fire of any property used in interstate commerce using surveillance footage and cell phone data. The FBI identified McIntyre, who attends college in Boston, as the man who committed the arson. Let me be extremely clear to anyone who still wants to firebomb a Tesla property. You will not evade us, said Attorney General Pamela Bondi. You will be arrested, you will be prosecuted, and you will spend decades behind bars. It's not worth it. Which she forgot the last part of that sentence. It's not worth it, asshole. Anyway, so yeah, another one caught, another one probably going to go to jail. There's another one here. Another alleged Tesla bomber is charged, and he looks like a girl. Is this the same one? No, this is well, they don't look like, well, okay. Looks like a girl is That's generous. Hello, Midnight in Exile. What's up? Can you imagine what would have happened if President Donald Trump, 45, had the kind of people in his cabinet in the 2020 summer of love that he has now? I often think about this when I hear of another Tesla bombing being busted by the feds. However, it gives us a pretty good idea of what those days might have looked like. When Trump didn't make it to the White House in 2020, the overwhelming majority of those violent rioters who torched multiple U.S. cities, destroyed other people's property, did billions of dollars in damage, and were responsible for the injuries and death of innocent people never did one day's time for their crimes. Their riots undermined the social contract, and the chaos created by the left at the time left millions unprotected in blue cities due to police defunding. This led to additional billions in lost in damage and stolen merchandise, and resulted in even more innocents being victimized by the left's ideas of justice. Right before the summer of love, reporter Andy No noted that many of the violent rioters on the streets, some of whom attacked him, were what he coined Trantifa. And now there seems to be a similar connection with the Tesla attacks. This week, the FBI's Chief Kash Patel and Attorney General Pam Bondi announced that they had arrested and charged a college student for bombing two Tesla Cybertrucks and destroying 2 Tesla charging stations in Missouri. It's the second case this week in which a firebomber who had been hit with federal crimes for his acts of political violence, which are being prosecuted under Donald Trump 47. And finally, someone calling them out and making them pay. And so here's the... Oh, good Lord. Today, 19-year-old Owen McIntyre, a very stupid smart person, was federally charged with arson at a Tesla dealership in Kansas City. Yada, yada, yada. In this case, a witness who got cell phone footage of the firebombing thought the person was female because he was wearing a dress and a woman's hat. According to the FBI affidavit, the witness driving by saw suspicious activity and slowed down to grab cell phone video. The witness stated he slowed down and grabbed his phone and then noticed an individual in the black dress with black clothing underneath. He said the individual in black was tall, skinny, lanky, and appeared to be a woman because of the long hair. And there she is, Miss America. This week, 19-year-old Owen McIntyre was charged with unlawful possession of an unregistered destructive device and 1 count of malicious damage on property. So this is the same dude. But anyway, Molotov cocktails by the Trantifa. There you go. So yeah, if you do vandalism and damage other people's shit, it's time to go to jail, motherfucker. Go. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 anymore because the Biden administration is no longer here to have your back. Oh, good Lord. Cory Booker, this is illegal insurrection, appears to play both sides game after assassination attempt on Josh Shapiro. Yeah, we talked about this, how, everyone's going to be thinking that this attack on Josh Shapiro was going to be some right-wing nut job, and it turned out to be just the opposite side of the aisle, but still a nut job. In the aftermath of the terrifying assassination attempt against Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro that took place in early morning hours last Sunday of the governor's residence, we learned the disturbing details about the suspect in the case. Accused domestic terrorist Cody Balmer, 38, evaded security and allegedly used Molotov cocktails, the weapon of choice for Trantifa, in the arson attack that caused what authorities have described and which photos confirm as significant damage to the home. Well, let's just get to the Cory Booker part. I want to get to the Cory Booker part because apparently he was equivocating. Cory Booker, find Cory Booker, because we know the details. We saw the damage. We've seen what happened. Let's see. Typical willful ignorance of the MSM here. Though the warrant does not elaborate on why Shapiro's faith is believed to have been the motive, even more typical, they appear to have conveniently moved on in light of learning that inconvenient bit of information. Someone says, I'm so old, I remember when someone tried to kill the Jewish governor of Pennsylvania and his family in order to free Palestine, and the media just moved on. Interesting, but not surprisingly, some of the same Democrats who are quick to condemn all Republicans when an attack or threat of one can be blamed on a far-right extremist are singing different tunes this time around. Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey, who in 2018, along with his then Senator Kamala Harris stoked mobs of pro-abortion leftists against the Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Was one of them. In a Thursday post, the potential 2028 presidential candidate pathetically played the both sides game once it became clear Balmer sounded more like a member of the Hamas caucus than a MAGA devotee. The quote is, the attack on Josh Shapiro and his family did not happen in a vacuum. Incendiary rhetoric, purposeful disinformation, it all helped to lead this hateful and destructive act. Leaders need to be conscious of their words having consequences. Let's inspire people to use their voice and make their case, but never feel violence is a just or necessary action, which that seemed very unspecific, like he's saying, oh, yeah, all of you guys with the rhetoric, when the left are ones that are more likely to firebomb people. Now, someone said my senator needs to take a seat on this one. Oh, they pulled up a quote when he said, my testosterone sometimes makes me want to punch Trump. Okay, yeah, Mr. Rhetoric. Then they showed several instances of Cory Booker's rhetoric, talking out of both sides of his mouth. Okay, I got it. All right, you can read the article. It's pretty funny now that I see where it went. Leftist nutjob screams at elderly couple at a restaurant over the man's MAGA hat. Yeah, this is one of those stupid things. Let's just see the video.
You have a baby here with you. You're a disgusting, sick, vile, fucking weirdo. Oh my God, it's fucking right. You dumb bitch, you're with this shit. He doesn't want me or you to have equality. Oh my God, go pray for me. Touch me and watch me touch his fucking hands. I will hit and get away. Sit down. Get out. You're not welcome here. You don't want these people here. You're not welcome.
Who the fuck are you? Oh my God.
Who the hell are you?
I'm proud of this man. This man here is going to beat people like
Please call the cops. Thank you, sir. You don't like the prior service? You don't like veterans? Why are you disrespecting the restaurant wearing that hat? That doesn't make any damn sense. Y'all right now, this is crazy shit right here.
Get your fat ass out of here. Okay, so anyway, bitch losing her mind over a MAGA hat. Okay, that was entertaining. Moving on. Breitbart. Oh! Senator Van Hollen doesn't want you to necessarily talk about, what's his name? Abrego Garcia's criminal. His crime links. His links to crime. The guy he went down to El Salvador to commiserate with. By the way, they weren't really margaritas, but it's funny that they set him up with that shit. Van Hollen pleads, stop talking about Abrego Garcia's crime links. President Donald Trump's deputy should stop talking about the apparent criminal record of the deported Salvadorian illegal migrant, says Senator Chris Van Hollen. Quote, don't put everything out on social media about deported migrant Kilmar Abrego Garcia, Van Hollen told the ABC This Week show on April 20th. The issue should be decided by judges, he said, adding the Trump administration is trying to change the Democrats' narrative. They're trying to distract attention. Here's where they should put their facts. They should put it before the court. They should put up or shut up in court under Judge Zenas, who's the district court judge in the case. Zenas was nominated to the court in 2015 by Barack Obama. She has the authority in any courtroom dispute over legal rights, but not in public debates about the harm of illegal migration. They are trying to litigate on social media what they should be doing in courts, Van Hollen complained to CNN. So he was also on This Week, but so he's whining, and then they got this clip of him.
I want you to listen to something that Gavin Newsom had to say about all the attention this case has gotten.
This is the distraction of the day, the art of distraction. This is the debate they want. This is their 80-20 issue as they've described it.
True.
Is he right about the politics of this? I mean,
you all look stupid.
Have taken great joy in portraying you as somebody who's defending somebody who's in this country illegally. They say as a gang member, and and they say that they're trying to just enforce the laws.
John, I don't think it's ever wrong to protect the Constitution and protect due process rights.
Are you, though?
I think conservative and libertarians, when they think
no,
about
but
this
Newsom
case,
actually.
the idea.
Newsom is taking shot at Van Hollen this time, and fuck Newsom, but still, Newsom is taking a shot at Van Hollen. He says that getting caught up in their distractions. Yeah, well, it's a distraction because these guys are all falling over themselves to try to bring this guy back.
Of somebody being deprived of their liberty and actually in a foreign prison without.
No, not a foreign prison. No, not foreign to him. He's a citizen of El Salvador. He never was here legally. It's funny because they keep talking about bring him home. His home is El Salvador. It's so weird they keep saying that phrase. I mean, his home is El Salvador. He's here illegally from El Salvador. That's where he's from. Now, I can understand maybe you're concerned about why he's in the prison, blah, 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 blah. But he's not. Look, as soon as he comes back, he's getting deported again. And I'm almost at the point where, like, okay, fine. We're going to bring him back. We're going to keep him in jail, and we're going to deport him again. Now we'll deport him to Guatemala. Okay? No fear of Guatemala. Or they'll prove that, hey, that gang that they're talking about in El Salvador, guess what? They don't exist anymore. That was the only reason we said, we'll give you a little bit of stay of your deportation because you're worried about your, being pursued by the gangs in El Salvador. Those gangs no longer exist. So now, fine. Time to go to El Salvador again. You don't have to stay in the prison or whatever. Once you get there, you get whatever you get. Or we'll send you to Guatemala, or we'll send you to Costa Rica, or we'll send you to anywhere else, but you're not staying here. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Bye.
Without due process of law, that's something we should all fight for. I think what Americans are tired of is people who want to put their finger to the wind to see what's going on. I would say that anyone that's
I think you're doing it with your Democratic
the
constituents.
Constitutional rights of one man when they threaten the constitutional rights of all doesn't deserve to lead.
Now, I know he thinks he's speaking principle there, but I'm just going to say maybe not. Now, apparently Tom Holman was on this week also. Now, I know Rupar here, Aaron Rupar, he's a dickhead. I'm sure he took very selective part of this clip. Let's see what they put in here.
But no one's removed just because of a tattoo.
In other words, the Alien Entity Act means you can grab somebody and you can deport them without an extended hearing because you have labeled them a terrorist. Because you've said you've determined that somebody is a member of the gang, and therefore they don't have to go through.
He's already had a deportation order
of the opportunity to have a full hearing. That's what you're saying. I mean, let's just be clear.
On some of the deportations.
I'm saying we're following the laws of this country, and there's a different procedure for each one. We're doing things within the frame of the law. We're doing things legally.
Okay.
I stand by that. Now, again, I'm not a constitutional scholar. I'm not going to argue this in court. That's what the Department of Justice does. But I'm sitting here today thinking we've done the right thing for this nation, following the laws and the Constitution of this country.
All right, Tom Homan, the Trump administration.
Okay, so he's insisting they're following the laws. There you go. All right, let's see. Just headlines now, and then we'll get out of here. SCOTUS presses pause on Trump's Trinidad deportations. The Supreme Court temporarily halted the Trump administration's effort to use the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to deport members of violent prison gang. Early Saturday morning, the American Civil Liberties Union has been turned back by two judges prior to the Supreme Court's emergency injunction, with Associate Justice Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito dissenting from the ruling. Fox News reported the ACLU has gone before the United States District Judge James Boasberg of the District of Columbia, who held a Friday evening hearing on the matter. President Trump issued several executive orders to address illegal immigration and border security upon taking office January 20th, including designating Mexican drug cartels, the Venezuelan prison gang Tren de Aragua, and the El Salvadoran prison gang MS-13 as foreign terrorist organizations. Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to speed up deportation of TDA gang members on March 15th. Boasberg issued a March 15th injunction ordering the Trump administration to turn two planes carrying members of TDA to El Salvador around. Boasberg has since threatened to hold the Trump administration in contempt of court for not turning the planes around. The Supreme Court overturned Boasberg's decision, or orders in a 5-4 decision on April 7th, saying Boasberg lacked the authority to issue the injunction, but one of the new challenges came from Texas, where gang members are being detained pending their deportation. The court also ruled Trump had the power to use the Enemies Act to deport gang members. So it's they're muddling it up by having different decisions on these. So it's I think the Supreme Court's making it worse, to be honest with you. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs vetoed a bill requiring police to cooperate with ICE, which I'm sure will be super popular among the electorate in Arizona. She vetoed a bill passed by the state legislature that would require local and state law enforcement to cooperate with federal immigration officials. The Republican-led legislature passed a bill that outlawed the local jurisdictions from passing ordinances that would prevent local police from working with federal immigration authorities or block federal immigration actions and funding, according to the Associated Press. So good job, Katie. I'm sure that's going to be popular. And we're in a state that's just kind of on the edge of blue and red, the really super purple state of Arizona. Daily Wire MSNBC host says Black American citizens next in line if deportations are allowed to continue. Yeah, dumbass. This is Simone Sanders, who thinks that now I will be deported because, because they're going to deport the illegal aliens, and now they're going to deport black people who the 14th, 15th, 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment were written for. I'm just going to say no. Here's this dumbass.
I've been talking about this all week, but Janae Nelson of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, she penned an op-ed in The Nation this week. And her op-ed talked about that we think that democracies
Hello, free breather. What's up?
The way they die is dramatically through these wars.
I'm safe because I'm part Irish. Yeah, I'm still a black man. I grew up in a black family with the black peoples and all that stuff. But I'm not. I got the Constitution on my side. Don't even play.
Wars and blood is shed, and it's cinematic in a sense. But really, the realistic way in which democracy.
Big Dave, yes, I did see the video of Stephen Miller. Just ripping the media to shreds on that. I don't even need to play this. She said what she said. I already said it. She thinks black people are next in line to be deported. That's completely stupid. Let's just say it's completely stupid. You can watch it later if you want. Tom Homan schools Joe Scarborough on border security. Do they have a video? Yes, they do. I'm not going to play it. I'm out of time. New York Times editor tearfully grovels to Sarah Palin in court. So Sarah Palin sued the New York Times, and the court has not been friendly to the New York Times about her, them defaming her, claiming that she caused the shooting of Gabby Giffords with that, the congressional targets map, and they basically blamed her for Gabby Giffords getting shot, and now she's in court with a defamation suit and winning, apparently. So we'll hear more about that soon. Fauci's first year of retirement was a money-making bonanza. Apparently, Fauci's earned $3.5 million in his first year of retirement from government and may have misled Congress about the date of his departure, according to documents. He received several six-figure deposits through 2023, totaling $1.15 million, according to 141-page financial disclosure obtained by Open the Books, a government watchdog group. So Fauci's been cashing in. I'm sure he got plenty of residuals from the Fauci juice too. I guess we'll find out more about that. Andrew Cuomo, oh God, threatens a lawsuit against the person accused him of sexual harassment before New York can pass a law blocking cases targeting alleged victims. And I'm pretty sure I'm guessing they're writing that law specifically for Donald Trump, so he can't go after Jean, what's her face, but Andrew Cuomo is trying to get ahead of the game there by threaten a lawsuit against someone else. Very scummy. And he's running for mayor of, I guess he's running for mayor of New York now, or he's going to be running for mayor of New York. Fuck. Government watchdog has filed an ethics complaint against Senator Van Hollen over his trip to El Salvador to meet with the alleged gangbanger. Conservative government oversight nonprofit organization has filed an ethics complaint against Senator Van Hollen for assisting a foreign terrorist organization with... like I said, the optics of him going down there are not good. And now you got an ethics complaint against him. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. But also the watchdog group has accused Holland of violating the Logan Act. So there's a good article on that. I have a few more. Ralph Warnock also slapped with an ethics complaint for living free in $1 million luxury home. When it comes to the lavish $1 million Atlanta home where Senator Raphael Warnock has lived rent-free since 2023, the Georgia Democrat can't expect to have his cake and eat it too, an ethics watchdog alleged in a complaint filed Monday. Warnock's lavish DeKalb County home came equipped with a plethora of luxury accommodations, including a 100-bottle wine fridge, a Bluetooth-enabled cooking range, and remote-controlled privacy curtains. The senator hasn't paid a penny out of his own pocket to live there because the church where he serves as a part-time pastor is footing the bill. So we're going to have to see if he's allowed to do that as a United States senator. Got a couple other articles, but in the links today, I've also included, I don't know if you, maybe you know this, maybe you follow it or not, but I have another YouTube channel and Instagram, whatever. Good morning, Aaron Meredith, where I do nothing but tell stupid jokes. And just over a year ago, my daughter gave me a box of cards. For my birthday, she wrote out, well, I thought it was 60, but now it looks like it's about 68 because I still haven't found the birthday card yet. And she wrote me out 68 cards, but only one was a birthday card. And the rest are dad jokes. And maybe you've probably seen this already. But, for example, here's one of them. And I'm asking you to subscribe to that channel too. And you'll see some of them are dumb, some are funny. But here's an example of that fare, which I've been... by the way, I've been opening them with random people over the last year and posting them on Instagram and YouTube. Just random people, wherever we go, and they're all different types of places. So here's an example of one of the cards. Birthday card roulette. My daughter gave me 60 cards for my birthday. One's a birthday card, the rest are dad jokes. Here, hold this. I'm only down to 10. Still haven't gotten the birthday card yet, though. It's a dad joke. Why is it impossible to starve in the desert?
I don't know.
Because of all the sand which is there. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So there you go. I put links to that channel in the links today, and there you go. I would be happy if you would all subscribe and share every single one of those videos. I'm trying to get this to blow up because my daughter put all this effort into it, and I've been opening these cards for over a year, and so I'm hoping that one of these days, one of those 60+ jokes will go viral. Although I've had the channel for a long time. I've been putting. No, that is not my son. No, that is a friend of mine's. His daughter's significant other, the father of his daughter's baby. And we were at the bar and he was there they were having cocktails, and that's what it was. So there you go. All right. That is it for today. About to drop these links in the chat. And there it is. Copy and paste. Here are today's links. My son is actually taller than me. My son's 6'6". But no, he lives in Denver, so he hasn't been around. There's the links for today. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and see you tomorrow. My name's Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thanks for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.